Hi, it's Sarah SMUTNY, your host of the Simply Balanced podcast. I'm super happy that you're listening in today, and here in this podcast we are going to go deep on gut health, anti-inflammatory living, spirituality, self-care and so much more. Hi everybody, today I would like to speak about a question I get so often: is coffee good or bad? And basically there is no right or wrong, but I just want to tell you my personal experience, also with myself, of course, and with my clients, and also a few facts about coffee, and maybe some routines which might help you, some insights which might give you some clarity about the effects, the good and the bad effect of coffee, and then you make your own decision how and when and how often you would like to drink coffee in your life. And I will also give you some alternatives in case you want to reduce your coffee intake. So let's just get a little bit to the base of coffee. What is actually good about coffee? Coffee has also, of course, some good effects. Coffee basically has been used for centuries already, and it's full of antioxidants, especially if you have an organic, very good organic coffee. Basically, for the Americans, it's one of American diet, let's say, not all Americans, but I mean like the American Western diet, which, you know what I mean with the Western diet. Basically, for those people who are eating really lots of processed foods, not a lot of vegetables and greens, coffee is really shown in a lot of studies. Coffee is one of the main intake of antioxidant for them. That's really, also I find it quite dramatic. But coffee has quite some antioxidants, so that's really a good side of coffee. And it also, helps the digestion and bowel movement. So people with constipation, I would always say, instead of being constipated for days, then rather drink a coffee if it helps you and kind of stimulates your bowel movement. It's better to go to the toilet instead of basically staying constipated for days, because that's really intoxicating the body more, instead of just having a coffee and just being able to eliminate easier. So that's really a good side effect of coffee. And it also has probiotic properties. So coffee has really some good effects, but now comes the but. It really has one main function, coffee, why we also feel more energized. It basically triggers cortisol, and it triggers our adrenal glands. And it's just kind of, for me, like, it's just an illusion, basically, that you have more energy if you drink lots of coffee, because it basically just makes you feel like in this kind of super agitated mood, like blood is also streaming faster, because you're basically in the fight or flight response. That's what coffee triggers in your body. So if you drink lots of coffee and on top you have stress in your life, then it's basically not really helpful for you, because it basically makes it even worse. And as you know, that, well, maybe you don't know, but cortisol has an effect on gut health, because it impairs the gut function. Because basically when your body is in the fight or flight response, basically the tiger is running behind you. That's how the body perceives it. Then basically it shuts down, or like kind of reduces all the functions of the body which are not necessary to run from the tiger. So digestion gets kind of reduced significantly. Some other organs which are not very important get reduced in function. And basically everything goes to the brain and to the muscles. And that if you have that, of course, in a chronic way, you're chronically stressed and you drink chronically a lot of coffee, then you're basically in this fight or flight response all the time. And then also this impairs your gut function, and also your microbiome, and also your nutrient intake, because your microbiome has a big impact on how you absorb nutrients and how you create vitamins. Yeah, so that's why having a lot of coffee, is basically just triggering your cortisol. So once I learned this made a big effect on me, how I see coffee. I love the taste of coffee. I love to have a coffee, or not a cappuccino when I'm in a cafe. But I went away from this. I need a coffee now, and I drink coffee already in the morning, afternoon. It's kind of my fuel, let's say. I don't see it anymore as fuel. I just drink it sometimes but mostly I drink decaf then. When I drink my cappuccino, when I'm in the mood of it in a cafe. But I see it as a kind of a pleasure drink because I love the taste. And that's why also decaf is okay for me. But I don't need it anymore as a fuel, because I understood and also feel in my body how it affects me. I really feel the stress now. It also has to do me being over 40 now. I'm 43, and I feel that it affects me even more. And this effect, women with premenopausal or like women, over 40 react stronger often on coffee, because it also affects the hormone balance and the estrogen levels. So that's why I would like to inspire you to get much more intuitive about your coffee consumption, how you really feel. Now that you understood that it's not really fueling you, it's just triggering your adrenaline. And we have already enough of it in life, of adrenaline and stress, to be honest. So that's why, that's the main effect of coffee. And also, as I said, it kind of messes a little bit with the hormonal balance. It has an effect on cortisol, as I said, insulin, estrogen levels, and also thyroid hormones. So it's really something, especially if you drink, let's say 2-3 coffee a day, it really has a ongoing effect on your hormones, on your stress, and this can really affect your well-being, your happiness, anxiety, and your overall health. Yeah. And another kind of more negative side of coffee is that it's acid. It's basically creating more acidity in the body. And it's also for people having problems with acid reflux and heartburn, it's not really helpful, let's say, to drink more coffee, because it basically creates more acidity in the body. Although I might make a podcast only about acid reflux, because often people take acid blockers, but sometimes they mostly need actually more acidity in their stomach acid. But this has nothing to do with now me saying coffee is acidic, because there's a difference between acidic foods and having acid stomach acidity levels. It's something different. So that's why I will make another podcast about acid reflux. So what can you do now? Now you learned all of this about coffee. Basically, I don't want to demonize coffee and saying never drink coffee anymore. Coffee, we all love coffee. Coffee is kind of also a routine for many of us. We like to go to the coffee shop and these kind of moments with friends. What I want to inspire you with, to see coffee differently, not anymore as your fuel, which you need every day, but rather change the way how you fuel yourself. So rather a beautiful blueberry smoothie, that's fuel for your body. Or a golden milk, that's fuel for your body. Or celery juice in the morning, that's like the super fuel. I love celery juice. I find it so powerful. That's fuel for your body. That's what I mean. Coffee is just a trend drink, or kind of ritual, let's say, drink. A ritual drink, but it's not fuel. That's there I'm really strong about it, because it can, of course, enhance your focus a little bit, because your blood flow is stronger to the brain, also, as I explained before, that's linked also to the fight or flight response. But it's nicer to have kind of a more calm focus instead of this stress focused. So just think about this, and some tips for me now, how you can drink your coffee when you really are in the mood of it. So the best is not to drink it in the morning on empty stomach, especially as a woman. Best have first your herbal tea, your lemon water, your celery juice, and then around 9:30, 10-ish, after having eaten also, of course, then you can have a coffee if you're in the mood of it. And then really feel into it. Do you want really now the coffee? Could you have another ritual drink? You really feel into it. But if you really want to have your coffee, then enjoy that coffee also, and take the moment for it. And what you can do to make it even more digestible, you can add some ashwagandha, because ashwagandha is reducing cortisol in the body. It's kind of an adaptogen. You can add a little bit of ashwagandha. You can add collagen, and that directly helps to make the coffee much more digestible. So that are some tips. And then, of course, using dairy-free milk instead of dairy with it, because dairy on top is also acid and inflammatory, and then you make it even more acid if you also on top add dairy in it. So that's why I would use plant milk. Oat milk works quite well with coffee, and then collagen, ashwagandha. Some people also like to put cinnamon. I don't like it so much. I really like the pure taste of coffee. That would be my tips, how to make it more digest. And you can also basically avoid to drink it after your meals. So because a lot of us, we are used to drinking coffee after lunch, after dinner, not so many people, but after lunch it's quite used that people have their coffee or espresso. And basically coffee is also an iron sucker from your body. So basically just drinking the coffee just after your meal is basically taking you away the iron absorption a little bit. So that's why try to, if you really want a coffee in the afternoon, have it more in the afternoon and not directly after your meal. That would be my tip. So not in the morning at first thing, later in the morning, after breakfast, after having hydrated, after having had nourishing foods and drinks, then the coffee if you want it, and in the afternoon, if you prefer it in the afternoon, then more in the afternoon, not after lunch. That would be and also not after 4 o'clock. Certainly, because then it impacts a lot your sleep and your melatonin. Yeah, that would be my tips. And I would, if you can, reduce it really to 1 coffee a day. Yeah. But really start to, if you're now, let's say, now you're used to having 3 coffees or 4 coffees a day, of course it will be very difficult to reduce it to 1. So just then go down to 2, Maybe one of them is decaf. And then, step by step, you can get there. And I personally almost never drink coffee anymore, only if I'm in a coffee shop, and then I drink a decaf cappuccino with oat milk. But I intuitively feel it's not doing me good right now, let's say. But maybe in a year or so I can handle it better. At the moment, it's not really serving me. It just doesn't serve me at the moment, and I prefer other drinks. I just want to inspire you with some other drinks you can enjoy as ritual drinks in the afternoon, at 4 p.m. when we are craving something sweet and we want a nice drink, warm drink. Then you can make yourself a nice, now that it's summer, iced matcha latte, or golden milk, or a cacao latte with raw cacao. Cacao is, by the way, super powerful in magnesium. and it has a very high protein. So cacao latte is a very nourishing drink for you, and super, super amazing from the taste as well. So it has this little bitterness because it's raw cacao. Of course, you can add a little bit of maple syrup, for example, to sweeten it, and a little bit of cinnamon. But it has still this little bitter afternote, which might make you make you feel like you're drinking a coffee. So yeah, that could be a nice replacement also for your moment in the afternoon. And otherwise, yeah, green tea, herbal teas, hibiscus tea is also super nice. And otherwise, some fresh drinks now in summer with ginger. Just get creative, play again with food, and find other new ritual drinks which also nourish you, and not only coffee. That's what I want to inspire you with. There's not only this one drink which everybody drinks. There's so many more drinks which you can have to fuel you deeply, and which are so amazing and tasty and beautiful. And just a little bit more about matcha, because I'm a big matcha fan. And I just want to explain you what is actually the difference between matcha and coffee. So basically, matcha also has antioxidants, even at a higher level, because it's not roasted and it's fresh, and it's coming from the really young special leaves, which are harvested mainly in Japan. And so basically you don't filter it. That's the thing about matcha. You don't filter it. You kind of dilute the powder of the matcha in the water and the plant milk. Mostly you drink it with plant milk. I like it a lot with plant milk. And basically you drink the leaves. You don't only filter it, or you don't use a tea filter. You just really dilute it in the water. So that's so powerful. You just kind of assimilate the matcha in your body. And it has a very good effect on thyroid function. It has a hormone balancing effect. And also a very good effect on estrogen dominance, especially with people and women, especially women, above 40. It's very, very good for estrogen dominance. And it has high levels of catechins. And those are, there's many studies about catechins that they have a good effect on insulin sensitivity. So stabilizing also blood sugar levels. Yeah, especially if you're also on a weight loss journey, matcha can be very helpful to kind of support this. Yeah. So basically, matcha, in my eyes, is the let's say better version of coffee. It still has good effects, but not so many bad effects. Actually, basically no bad effects in my eyes. Yeah, and it has not such a stressful effect on your body, because it also has caffeine, but lower amounts. And what makes it so special, that it also has L-theanine. And the L-theanine is basically stress reducing. It's an amino acid. So the combination of the cortisol enhancing caffeine, which is in lower amounts in the coffee, and it's also kind of given to the body in a kind of slowed response. So basically, it's not this peak you have with coffee. It's like much slower. And on top you have the L-theanine, which kind of counteracts this cortisol effect. And basically brings you more serenity and kind of calm feelings. Also very helpful with anxiety. So yeah, for me, matcha is really an awesome drink if you want another ritual drink and something which energizes you, but also nourishes your body. Then you can rather have sometimes matcha. Matcha latte is a very nice one. And if you need help how to make it, you can also check my account. There's also some reels about it, how I show how to make matcha, and otherwise just Google it. How to make matcha. You will see many videos, and you can experiment with this. And what a good tip for your matcha: buy a premium matcha. Not just some matcha you find in the store next door, which is not anymore really fresh. It has to be bright green. So when you buy a matcha, check the color that it's bright green, and don't look too much on the price. Rather buy a good one. You don't need so much of it, because then the taste is also much milder. Yeah, because the first matcha I tried was tasting like straw, basically. It was it was not good at all. But I went experimenting. I tried it from a friend, and I loved it. And since then, I know really that there's a big difference in taste in quality in matchas. So yeah, that would be my my advice. So yeah, that was my little talk about coffee. So yeah, basically, just to recapitulate, coffee is not bad and not a demonized drink, but really moderate your intake and know when to drink it and how to drink it. That's the main message. And don't see it anymore so much as your fuel of the day, but really as just a ritual drink to enjoy, really a mindful drink if you really like the taste. And find some other drinks and foods, of course, to really deeply nourish you and fuel you. Because, that's where you get your fuel and your energy from. What is also important, especially for us women, to get enough protein. That's a big fuel for us women. So, yeah, if you have any questions about this topic, just write me on Instagram. I would be super happy. And if you listen this on Apple Podcasts, then leave me a review. I would be super happy. And I will be also happy to hear from you what other topics you would like me to speak about. Because this is all new for me to do some solo podcasts. But to be honest, I really love it, and I will do it more. And try the golden milk for sure. Try the cacao latte for sure. And the matcha. Those 3 drinks are amazing to try. You will love them. I love them a lot. And have a beautiful day, and see you soon back here on my podcast.